Hello friends and welcome to my channel. Victoria Beckham has a line of luxury makeup products, and this week she released a group of 7 new eyeshadow sticks. And this made me kind of excited because I am a big fan of eyeshadow sticks in general in terms of them allowing me to create a pretty look really fast. So to start out with, I decided to buy 2 shades. One is the shade Bottle Green, and then the other one is the shade Caramel. So I will be discussing the new eyeshadows and demonstrating them for you today. In addition, I have at least 1 shade of almost everything that Victoria Beckham offers in terms of makeup, and so I will be demonstrating and discussing those products as well. So let's get started. First, a little bit of information about me. I'm 58 years old and I have dry and sensitive skin. I've never had any kind of procedures on my face like surgery or injections, and I don't intend to ever do that. In addition, my skin is so sensitive that I've not been using any kind of retinol or any kind of other harsh products on my face. But with the skincare and the makeup that I use, I'm looking for something that can at least make me look a little bit fresher or hopefully maybe even a little bit younger. I've tried out several hundred makeup products over the past 2 years, and so I have a lot to compare things to when I try out new products. And I usually favor a more natural makeup look, but over time, as I've tried different products, I've been experimenting with different kinds of looks. In the terms of the Victoria Beckham, I have tried many of her different products, and I do like some of them quite a lot. Others I like less, so I will be discussing all of that today. So Victoria Beckham, as most people know, started out her career with the Spice Girls, and then she married the soccer star David Beckham and became kind of a general celebrity and started a fashion line. And then in 2019, she started a beauty line of cleaner makeup products with a beautiful non-plastic packaging. So for instance, this is a bronzer and it's all glass and metal. And this is the primer container and lipsticks. So it's all really gorgeous in terms of at least the appearance of the products. And I have tried all of these products, and my feeling about them is that in a lot of cases, it's very easy to get a look that is similar to the one that Victoria Beckham has. Because she has much kind of a dramatic smoky eye and an understated lip and usually a little bit of contour on her cheeks. So if that's the kind of look that you want, then this could be a really great makeup line for you. It's probably the case that since the initial releases that some of the other colors might work better to create other kinds of makeup looks. But in general, I think that this makeup really kind of wants to create that kind of makeup look, which I kind of think of as a wealthy woman from the 1990s type of a look, which I don't mind. It's really attractive. It's just not necessarily always the look that I'm personally going for. So let's start out by swatching the 2 new colors on my hand. So that's Caramel. And then this one is Bottle Green, and it is much more dark than I had anticipated. And let me show you the other shadow sticks that I have here. For one thing, the new ones seem to be much more pigmented than most of these other shades that I already have. Especially the green one, but even the caramel one, they both look quite pigmented. I feel like they're moderately shimmery. I'm in pretty good light right now, and they're very pretty in terms of the colors. I would say that the caramel one is a lot more shimmery than the bottle green one, and the bottle green one is quite gray-green. I'm kind of surprised at how gray it is, at least when I swatch it on my hand like this. And especially when we compare it to something like that Clinique Walloping Willow, which is much more of a bright, sort of a yellowish type of a green. Now let's try swatching these on my other hand and then immediately smudging them to see how they look when they smudge them. So this is the green one. And it does smudge. It's still pretty dark when it smudges, and it turns almost into a sort of a sea green, gray, blue color, which is quite pretty. And the other one is this taupe one. So we'll just put a little bit of that one down and then smudge this out. So they turn into very interesting colors when they're smudged. Now let's talk a little bit about eyeshadow sticks in general. So I was just talking in the Laura Mercier video about how much I like eyeshadow sticks and how I used to at one point be a little bit addicted to the Bobbi Brown sticks. I found out after I had already collected a number of those sticks that I'm kind of allergic to or reactive to aluminum powder, and that is an ingredient that's listed on the may contain list for the Bobbi Brown sticks. So I wrote to Bobbi Brown several times trying to find out which shades had the aluminum powder in them, and I found out that the ones that I had actually didn't have aluminum powder in it, so that explains a lot. I was going to recommend the Bobbi Brown sticks that I found out didn't have aluminum powder in them, but since then they've been reformulated, and I don't know if they put aluminum powder back in the reformulation. And it's very hard to get information from Estee Lauder, which owns Bobbi Brown, about which shades do and don't have particular ingredients on that may contain list. So I really still like the Bobbi Brown sticks that I have, and I would like to recommend them to other people, but it's very challenging because I don't feel like I can recommend things that have that ingredient in them. The Laura Mercier line has eyeshadows that are very similar to the Bobbi Brown ones, but they do not use a may contain list. They will give you the shade and the ingredients for each shade. And so I've been able to figure out which shades do and don't have aluminum in them. And very few of the shades that I have seen actually do have aluminum powder in them. So I think that that's a safer choice. I may or may not like the formula quite as much as the Bobbi Brown one, but I still feel like that is a line that I feel a little more confident in. Even though I don't use that many Clinique products now, I do think that their chubby sticks have been good for me. So I like the lip ones, but I especially like the eye sticks. And I feel like I can do a very fast eye look with those, and that it's very pretty. Now I went and washed my hand to see which of these 4 different brands have more staying power. It definitely seems to be the case that the Laura Mercier and the Bobbi Brown ones have a lot of staying power, that the Clinique ones all washed off, and that these Victoria Beckham ones seem to have more staying power than any of them. So I am impressed with that. I did manage to get it off pretty easily from my eyes last night when I used a pharmacy makeup remover. So it's not that if you put it on your eyes that you will not be able to get it off. It did come off pretty easily for me. But it does seem like it's something that once you put it on your eyes, you can expect it to stay. So I think that that's a benefit. So for the new Victoria Beckham eyeshadow sticks, the description says that it is a clean, pigment-rich, ultra-creamy, buildable eyeshadow with waterproof wear that lasts for up to 8 hours. Buildable cover and supremely creamy formula. Sets for ultra-long wear, crease-proof, fade-proof wear for up to 8 hours. No base, brush, or touch-ups required. Infused with clean ingredients for eye-calming comfort, soothing seaweed oil, and collagen-boosting Vitis Vita. And there are 3 shimmer shades, so I have 2 of those. And there are 2 neutral mattes, and there are 2 pastel mattes. So the other shimmer color is actually Oyster, which is a shimmery, light pearl color. Now that one also contains aluminum powder, but at least we know about it. And so I won't be buying that one because I do tend to be reactive to aluminum powder. And I also am a kind of concerned because EWG rates that as a 10 out of 10 on their toxicity scale, and Credo doesn't allow it. So even though apparently Sephora does not have aluminum powder on their prohibited list for the Clean at Sephora, it's not something that I feel really comfortable with. All of the other products, though, they don't have any silicones. They don't have any cyclic silicones in them. So that is something that the Bobbi Brown and the Laura Mercier sticks do have that would keep them from being qualifying as Clean at Sephora or as eligible to be sold at Credo. Cyclic silicones don't seem to irritate my eyes, and I'm not sure that they are especially irritating for most people, but they do, there is some thought that maybe they're bad for the environment. So being able to avoid doing things that are bad for the environment, all things being equal, is certainly always a good thing. So I'm happy to see that they have managed to make what I think are quite good products without any cyclic silicones in them. The other shades, the two neutral mattes, there's one that's more of a brown color, and then there's one that's more of a light beige peach type color. I would be definitely interested in that brown color, so that's probably one of the next ones that I will buy from them. The neutral beige color, the issue for me is that when I put things above my eyes, what I'm trying to do is to darken the skin a little bit so that it doesn't protrude as much, because I feel like, especially now that my eyes have become more hooded, I feel like if the skin up here is too light, then it kind of acts like a highlighter, and that mostly what people end up seeing is this skin up here rather than my eyes themselves. So what I generally do is put a sort of a darkish shade of concealer up there as sort of a base for eyeliner and eyeshadow. I would be interested in having one of these eyeshadow sticks and using that instead of that, but it's hard to tell exactly what the color is on the website. So some of the products that I've purchased from Laura Mercier or Bobbi Brown have really been too light to serve that purpose. So I kind of want to see what that color was in more detail before spending money on it. The other two shades are, there's one that's sunflower yellow type of shade, and there's one that's pink. Now I don't know that I would want that pink shade. I kind of feel like when I put pink near my eyes that I start to not look that attractive, but maybe this is a really good shade of pink. I'm really interested in that yellow shade because I saw a video with a woman, the channel is called The Hooded Lid. So she does luxury makeup products, and she's 60, so you get a sense of what it looks on older people. And she combined the caramel and the bottle green and this yellow color, and I thought that that looked really stunning. So I'm now very interested in that particular color. So probably sometime soon I will buy the brown one and the yellow one and give it a try. And maybe come back and show you what they look like, because I'm kind of excited about this whole line. Now, yesterday, I tried on all of the other Victoria Beckham makeup that I had, and I ended up getting that sort of Victoria Beckham look to my face, so I will show you what that looks like. Today, I thought I would start out the video just putting on her red lipstick. So I think this is really pretty. The lipstick shade is Pop, and then there's also a lip liner that goes with it. And I originally purchased this because I was really afraid of using any kind of red lipsticks, and I wanted to get something that was more muted. And I thought, oh, Victoria Beckham, she doesn't usually wear red lipstick, and if she did wear one, it would probably not be very bright. So let's try that and see how it goes. And then actually, that was actually a good idea of mine. That was a good way to dip my toe into the pool of trying out different red lipsticks. And I still kind of like the way that it looks. I don't know that I like the way that red lipstick looks in combination with dramatic eyeshadow. I think that having done the more recent French girl makeup look, where I realized that French people usually wear either red lipstick or a dramatic eye look, and I kind of am in agreement with that. So I think what I will do now is to take off the red lipstick and then just put on some of Victoria Beckham's lip gloss, which is much more neutral. And then I will try putting this eyeshadow on, and we can see what we can think. And I'm going to start out, I don't have anything on my eyes right now at all, except for a little bit of bronzer. So I put on the two different shades of bronzer, which I think work really well in terms of sort of darkening this area here. I don't know that I would encourage people to buy that entire bronzer just to use it as a base for eyeshadow, but it's been working really well for me. So I'm not I'm not that crazy about the bronzer in general in terms of putting it on my cheeks, but in terms of using it on my eyes, at least I'm getting some good use out of it. So after I take off the lipstick, then I will put this on my eyes and we'll see what it would look like as sort of a one and done fast makeup out of the house, which is the reason that I use eyeshadow sticks to begin with. And then maybe I'll think about putting on some mascara or something to go with it. Okay, so I've blotted down that lipstick and now I will put on the one gloss that I have from Victoria Beckham, and this is in the color Poolside. So let's give this a try. So this is actually one of the more reddish colors that she has in this lip gloss line. There are some that are a lot more neutral, but I still think it will work okay for this purpose. And I've had this for maybe 6 months, and I feel like it's already starting to not taste bad, but I feel like if I don't use it up pretty fast, it will be bad. So I should probably put this in my purse or something and try to get as much use out of it as possible. I don't use a lot of lip glosses, except I really, really like the Lisa Eldridge lip glosses. But I think I could get some use out of this. It's kind of a pretty shade. So let's try to just do this here in the camera rather than a regular mirror. So this is a little more challenging if I'm not actually using a mirror. So if I miss things that are weird looking, that is why. And then, so that's unblended, and then I'll just kind of blend it with my finger a little bit. And I would say that compared to other eyeshadow sticks that I have, that this is a more dramatic look, but I don't think that it's so more dramatic that I wouldn't want to wear it even during the day. I think it's actually really attractive. And I think that, you know, if I'm wearing glasses, I think that this would be maybe even more attractive in terms of it not looking too dramatic, but bringing out my eyes a little bit more, and not necessarily looking like I'm wearing a lot of eyeshadow. Now the other side, this is that bottle green, and it is so dark that I'm really kind of afraid of it. So I think I'm going to have to put this on really lightly and then rely on blending, because I think it could get really overwhelming so fast. See, no, that's not working out too bad. Yeah, I really like these. I think they're really pretty. And they're just, I think that I just have to get used to using a lighter touch than I have used with the Clinique or the Bobbi Brown or the Laura Mercier sticks, because these do seem to be more pigmented, but they're very pretty. And I don't, can you tell that I'm wearing two different colors of eyeshadow? Not really. I think maybe we will leave this alone for a little while and then maybe try to fix it for the final. Unlike every other product that Victoria Beckham makes, these are in plastic. And I think it could be that they are in plastic because maybe they need to be, plastic has a better seal. But the other thing is that maybe they're not any more expensive than the Bobbi Brown or the Laura Mercier eyeshadow sticks, maybe a little tiny bit more expensive, a few dollars, but in general they're in the same price range. And it might be that if you introduce a new product into the marketplace, they wanted to be more competitive rather than having a price that's really outrageous. Now the next thing that I thought that I would do is to go through all of the Victoria Beckham products that I have, starting with the ones that I am the least excited about and then counting down to the ones that I'm most excited about. So I will include these eyeshadow on this countdown, and you can see how I feel about them compared to the other Victoria Beckham products that I own. So first I will talk about 3 products that Victoria Beckham makes that I have chosen not to purchase yet and probably won't be purchasing. The first one is a serum. So Augustinus and Victoria Beckham have a relationship where Augustinus is a very expensive skincare product company from Germany that makes fairly clean products. And so they have been making primers for Victoria Beckham, and they've also been making this serum. Now the serum is quite expensive, like more than I am willing to pay for a single item. And I have yet to hear any beauty influencers feel like they were really excited about the serum. So I don't think that's something that I would purchase if I were going to be buying things from Victoria Beckham. But if you're interested in expensive serums from Augustinus Bader, then this would be one place to look for them. The second product is the Bitten lip tints. And these products have a number of ingredients in them that look to me like they're problematic, particularly in a lip product. It does look like it's a hydrating product, so that's a positive thing. But I've heard a few negative things about it, including in terms of the taste. It has sorbitol in it, and I heard somebody say that they thought that it tasted like licking an envelope, and that doesn't seem like something that I would like to have in a lip product, and I think that's probably related to the sorbitol. And I haven't heard anyone really very, very excited about this product, so I decided to skip that one. The other thing that they make is a Waterline whitening pencil. And this is listed as one of their best-selling products, so apparently some people do like it. It's a little unusual to have a product like that. I don't think it's really white. I think it's more on the beige side. I once had an eye infection that almost caused me to lose my eye. And ever since then, I've just been very careful about putting anything into my eyes. And so I really don't like to use things on the Waterline in general. And I don't really think that it's necessary to whiten my waterline. Maybe it would make me look more awake, but in general, that is just not a product that I'm very interested in. But if you are interested in that kind of product, then this one does get good reviews and sells a lot, so that would be a good thing for you to look at from Victoria Beckham. So the one that I would rank as number 12 is this Victoria Beckham mascara. So this is a tubing mascara, and it has a small applicator brush, which I have found to be attractive. I really like tubing mascaras, and I do think it goes on well. I think that I have not had any problems at all in terms of it not looking good on my eyes, in terms of it flaking or smearing, so it performs really well. But it does have some questionable ingredients in it, and I have found it to be irritating to my eyes some of the time. So I'm not sure why, but sometimes it seems to be not too bad, and other times it does seem to cause enough irritation that I can feel it. So therefore, anything that irritates my eyes, I tend to avoid. Since this mascara has come out, and it's been, I guess, 3 years, so it's been a long time, and mascaras have come a long way in the past 3 years, so now there have been a number of new mascaras, including tubing mascaras, that I think have performed really, really well and that have not irritated my eyes at all. So I don't see any reason to compromise on this and allow my eyes to get irritated just because I like the formula in other ways. So the mascaras that I really like that are tubing mascaras are the Calorie one and the Merit one. I'm especially fond of the Calorie one, both in terms of how it's worked for me, in terms of its lack of irritation to my eyes, and also the fact that it comes in a small tube. So therefore I can purchase it regularly after only a month or a couple months, and then not have as much of a risk of there being bacterial or fungal or whatever kind of contamination in the product. So I am not saying that other people should not enjoy this mascara, and the fact that it comes in a glass tube and it's really beautiful. That's a little bit of a bonus to it, but I wouldn't buy it again for the irritation reason. Now, number 11 on my list would be the little powder eyeshadow palettes. So these come in there's 5 different palettes available, and they're all in these beautiful glass and metal cases. And 4 of the palettes are all mattes, and then this palette is all shimmers. So to start out with, that's something that a lot of people object to, that they think that there should be a mix of mattes and shimmers, and that having them be one or the other is limiting what they can do with the eyeshadows. I don't object to that so much. But in terms of this particular palette, I really didn't like any of the matte color combinations that much. And in terms of this shimmer palette, half of the palette almost is this white shade that I just don't use that much. If it had 4 different colors of really interesting shimmers that I could use as a one and done, then I would kind of be excited about it and I might really like it. But with the eyeshadows here, I don't feel like I'm going to ever be using that white one very much. And in addition to that, the formula, I think, is starting to feel old-fashioned to me. So it's talc-free, which is good, but I think that 3 years ago, talc-free shadows were much worse formulas than they are now. So this one is kind of hard and it goes on with some difficulty. Since then, some of the shadows that I've really liked that have come out are the Jones Road ones. Jane Iredale has replaced their old hard palette with some beautiful soft shadows in a variety of different sizes of palettes that I have really liked. There's a company called Aether, which has very nice eyeshadows. And of course, there's Lisa Eldridge, which has fantastic eyeshadows with beautiful talc-free formulas. So compared to those, I feel like this formula, these eyeshadow palettes are both not the colors that I want to be using and also not the formula that I want to be using. I do think that it would be really nice to have a palette like this with this beautiful container and to have several different colors of eyeshadow in it that would be really interesting type colors like the ones that, for instance, Lisa Eldridge offers. And that would be in a small container like this that I could carry around really easily, or that wouldn't take up much room in my makeup bag. I would be really excited about that. And then if it could be refillable, then that would be a bonus. So my hope is that maybe they're working on that, because I do think that there's some potential there. I just don't think they're there with this old formula. Number 10 on my list would be the Victoria Beckham bronzers. So these are available in 5 different shades, and each of these compacts has 2 different bronzer shades in it. One is a lighter color, and then the other one is supposed to be used as sort of a contour. So the first problem with this is that I don't use contour to begin with. So I won't be doing that. I have tried, and I tried in the video from yesterday, I've tried just combining these 2 colors, and that doesn't work too bad on my face. But in general, I feel like, again, that this powder formula is on the hard side and a little bit difficult to use. I have been experimenting with using this as an eye product, as I said, and I think that for my eyes as a base product, it hasn't been too bad. I mostly have been using it for that, I think, because I like this compact and because I feel like I spent a lot of money on it and I want to get some use out of it. But I also do think that it provides a reliably neutral but attractive look on my eyes. So I think there's actually a reason to be using it. And as I've dug into these powders, they do seem to be picking up a little bit more on my eyeshadow brush. So I would definitely not buy this again in the current form, but if they were to, again, create a really nice bronzer, maybe even without this contour though, if they were to put a new formula in there with maybe just one really good color for me, I would maybe really like it because it's a beautiful case. This is refillable. So maybe if I hang on to this case for long enough, they will introduce some refills in products that I really like, and then I can just buy those. Okay, moving on to product number 9. I would say that this for me would be the Satin Kajal liner, which I only have in the shade Cocoa. So this is a very dark brown. And it is a pencil that you sharpen with a pencil sharpener, and she sells one that she thinks is particularly good for sharpening it. And then on the other hand, there's a smudger. I really like this smudger a lot. In terms of the pencil, at least in the color that I have, I feel like this is the #1 tool that if you want to get Victoria Beckham's look, this is the pencil to buy, because it will automatically give you that dark brown, smoky, dramatic type of an eye that Victoria Beckham wears in every single picture that I've ever seen her in. So I found it impossible to use this pencil to create any kind of other look other than that smoky eye. But on the other hand, if I want to create that smoky look, it does a much better job of it than any other pencil that I have used, and it does it in a very automatic way. So at least for this brown color, that's what you're really, look at pictures of Victoria Beckham, and if you want to look like her, then this is a great pencil to do it. I was interested in buying one of the other shades of the pencils, and since I bought this one, there have been quite a few more that have come out, and I would be interested in that because it is a very well-performing pencil. But it does irritate my eyes a little bit, and it does have a few somewhat questionable ingredients in it. So I have come to the point where I've finally found a few eye pencils that have worked really well for me, that don't irritate my eyes. Again, I'm especially fond of the Caloray eye pencil. So I've just used the black one so far, but I have ordered the blue one and the brown one, so I want to try those. And I actually have decided that I really like the old Bobbi Brown gel eyeliner pencils, not the one that that's in a little pot, but just the pencils. That those have worked really well for me. And then again, even though they do have cyclic silicones in them, that does not seem to be a big issue for me, and I don't seem to be reacting to those. And there are a few other, I like the House Labs pencils. Also, I've only used one of those so far, the brown shimmer one, but I would be interested in buying another one of the House Labs pencils. So I'm kind of just at the point that if something irritates my eyes at all, I just abandon it. So this pencil falls into that category. But if your eyes are not as sensitive as mine, then this may work fine for you. I will say that there's one shade, the Sea Gray shade, which has aluminum powder in it, and it has that kind of soft, ethereal, shimmery type of a look to it. So if you're concerned about aluminum powder, then don't buy that one. If I were going to buy another one, I'd probably buy the olive one, because I do kind of like green eyeliner, and I don't have that many of those. And it seems to be their best selling shade from what I can tell from the website. They also just came out with a line of 4 new shades, which they're actually putting in a different category and are calling the Satin Kajal Jewel Liners. They describe this by saying, grunge but make it glamour. Satin Kajal Jeweled Liners is a big energy grown-up glimmer, and the look is intense to the point eyes that you can spot at a party or across the room. Anyone can wear them. They are designed for play. They are transformative and sophisticated, wearable with an edge. And then she says, I personally love to wear them day or night. So for those, the one color that has aluminum powder as well as bronze powder in them is the Gold Lame color. So I wouldn't buy that one if it were me. I kind of am interested in these eyeliners if they didn't have the same formula as this cocoa one, which has been a little annoying to my eyes. They show on the website that they're used to create sort of graphic looks where, you know, you have like a line that goes out like this and then another line that goes across. So I think those are kind of pretty. I don't know that I would want them for myself, but that kind of grungy but sparkly type of a look, I find that to be very appealing. So for that reason alone, I think that these would be interesting colors, but I think that I can find other things. Those Violette eyeshadows, the more I think about it, the more I like them, and that I think I might want another one of those. And I also really, really like the Lisa Eldridge Lorix eyeshadow. All right, moving down to number 8, I would say that this would be these Posh Gloss lip glosses. I just have one of these. I guess I haven't used it very much. I haven't felt that drawn to using it, and it's been a number of months, and as I say, I better use it up now. It's sort of now or never. I feel like I'm not that big of a fan of lip glosses, but I do think that Victoria Beckham really pioneered the category of lip glosses that look all grown up and that look sophisticated and that have colors that are attractive and that stay on your lips for a long time. So it's not that I mind wearing this, and when I look at this in the monitor, it's kind of attractive. So I really do think I should put more of an effort into actually getting some use out of this while I still can. However, if I were going to buy another lip gloss, it would definitely be one of the Lisa Eldridge ones. I really like those. I think they're much more special. They have more of a, this one has more of a kind of a matte to it, so it's all kind of one color, whereas the Lisa Eldridge ones, they have more of these like sparkle layers to it that makes them feel more special to me. The other product that I actually have enjoyed wearing that is much less expensive is the one from the cosmetic company Han, which sells on Credo. I think that at least the one lip gloss that I have from them, it has this neutral sort of color also, and then it also has a very sophisticated look, but is much less expensive. So I would consider that as an alternative to this expensive product. Now, counting down to number 7, I would say that the next one is the blush sticks. So for this blush stick, it comes in this, again, glass container. I have the one that's called Playground, and this is, let's see if I can just swatch this on my hand. This is kind of a terracotta, which I find to be very appealing. It's kind of the most neutral of the colors that she offers. She started out with 5, and I think now there are 7 of them. A lot of people complain about these blushes and say that they're too difficult to blend, or that the formula is a little too stiff. I haven't found that to be a big problem for me, but I think that part of the reason that it lasts for pretty long on my skin is because it has that stiff formula to it. So I'm kind of used to, for instance, the Honest blushes, and those have a tremendous amount of staying power, to the point that that was what Meghan Markle decided to use on her wedding day, is that blush, because it would give that kind of soft cream blush look, but that it would also stay with her the whole day. And I think that that is the case for this Victoria Beckham blush too. So while you may have to spend a little bit more effort blending it in, I have not found that to be a problem. On the other hand, while I really love the Westman Atelier blushes in terms of putting them on, my face seems to really eat them up really fast. So they just kind of disappear into thin air. So that's a little bit frustrating, whereas this one really seems to have a lot more lastingness to it. So I don't object to this blush, and I wouldn't mind having another shade. It's just not, I think, the strongest product that they offer. But if you like any of the colors, or if you need a cream blush, I would not personally advise against them, even though some people think that it's not a great product. Now, the next product that Victoria Beckham makes in collaboration with Augustinus is this moisturizing primer, or priming moisturizer, I guess it's called. So this comes in 2 different shades. One of them is a sort of a silvery type of shine, but not too strong. And the other one is a gold shine that's much stronger. I feel like these are both so shimmery that you probably want to only use them underneath a foundation rather than on their own. I tried putting this on yesterday just underneath concealer, and I found that my skin ended up being so shimmery that I had to put powder on top of it to calm it down. So you can kind of see how it shimmers here. I didn't put any of this on today because I only put on just a little bit of concealer today. But I think that other than the shimmer part of it, I think that as non-silicone primers go, this one is actually really nice. It actually is very moisturizing. It feels good on my skin. The ingredients list seems pretty clean to me. It feels moisturizing and like health-giving to my skin. and it certainly hasn't irritated it at all. And I think that it's fairly effective in terms of a primer putting out on it. So I think that for something that does not have silicone to wear underneath foundation, that might allow foundation to perform a little bit better, I think that this is a nice product. And there aren't that many good non-silicone primers on the market that I have found. I do kind of like the Beauty Counter one. I also used to really like the Vapor ones, but Vapor is no longer in business, unfortunately, and their primers were their strongest product. So I'm going to miss those once I run out of them. This one is certainly more expensive than many products, but it's still not as expensive as most of the products in the Augustinus line, and they are not offering a primer anywhere else. One thing about this product is that it has the tendency to roll on the floor, so I put this on the counter in my bathroom, and it rolled and hit the tile floor. There's a little nick in it, but fortunately it didn't entirely break. Now the next one, which I think may be one of Victoria Beckham's newer products, is a highlighter. And this one, instead of coming in glass, it comes in this metal tube. And I feel like this highlighter is sort of similar to the Merit highlighter that a lot of people like, and it's also similar to the Violette highlighter. But unlike the Merit highlighter, this one seems to be fine in terms of not going rancid right away. Whereas I have heard of a lot of people complain about that Merit highlighter going rancid, and I experienced that myself. So this has strawberry butter in it, and I think that it's really quite pretty. It looks natural, it doesn't look overly shimmery, and it gives a little bit of a wet look, but I don't have any of that on yet. So let's put a little bit on and see what it looks like. You know, I have all natural light in this area from several different directions and just one little ring light. So I can usually get a good sense of what products actually look like in the real world. And I do think my face kind of has a little bit of a wet look to it right now, like I just put on moisturizer, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's kind of pretty. So I kind of do like this product. Put a little bit like this, maybe. So I don't necessarily wear highlighter every day these days. I feel like highlighters are kind of not being as much in fashion as they used to, and people are kind of moving more towards a matte look, and I'm not sure that putting on a lot of highlighter helps my appearance that much, but a little bit of highlighter like this I think is kind of appealing, and compared to pretty much all the other highlighters in my collection, I kind of like this one. Now moving on to product number 4, I think that this is another product that is really kind of a standout product from Victoria Beckham in terms of it being something that no one else is offering and that is quite interesting. And these are the lid lusters, and they are sort of powders hyphen cream eyeshadows. But what's interesting about these is that they have ground up jewels in them. So depending on the shade, they can have quartz or citrine or moonstone or opal or amethyst, or in one case there was one, the new one is green and it has malachite in it. So they just have a little bit of these little pieces of jewels in them, which gives them a little bit of a shiny color to them. They also have squalane, but they're mostly these shimmer particles, so you don't have to put on very much in order to get a really shimmery look. So I wonder if we can pick up enough of the natural light in here to see for you to be able to see these shimmers. It's not glitter. It really doesn't look like glitter, but it really does look very shimmery and very pretty. So I have the tea rose color, and I think this turned out to be a pretty good choice. It's one of their more popular colors. When I put it on, especially if I just put it on my eyes without anything else on over it, I think that it just adds a tiny little bit of a really prettiness to it that I don't think that people would notice a whole lot, but that just kind of makes me feel a little more cheerful and like it's a little bit special. So the description of this on the website, it says, ultra-fine pearlescent pigments make up 60% of the high-tech formula for a sophisticated high-shine finish. Range of gilded shades, each infused with real crystals and multidimensional pearl, elevates every look. Skin-loving squalane and guava leaf extract support healthy-looking skin. So there are 10 shades. I would have probably originally picked mink, but mink is a brown color with silver in it, and I don't feel like silver sparkles are that good for me. I feel like I do better with gold or bronzy type sparkles, so I decided not to get that one. I haven't felt that this is irritating at all, and I think the ingredient list is pretty good on it. I think that this new shade with the malachite in it, it's a golden olive color, and it's velvet, and I kind of feel like if I had a signature shade that it might be that kind of greenish yellow shade, so I am kind of interested in that one. Now, number 3 on my list would be these lipsticks, and I feel like when these lipsticks came out 2 years ago, I think that they were actually my favorite lipsticks on the market, and I was kind of excited about them. But since that time, a number of other companies have come out with lipsticks that I think I like better, but these are kind of in a still in a category all by their own, just because they're so understated. So I have 2 different shades in this. One is a pink one, which I guess is called Pout, and then the other one is this red one, which I think is called Pop. So, these are actually Victoria Beckham's brighter shades, they used to be among the brighter shades, and yet they're still quite muted and really wearable, and they go on really easily. They come in these little tubes, little glass tubes, but they're very easy to apply, and they taste really good to me. I think they have pomegranate extract, something like that in them, but I have not found them to be problematic in terms of how they've tasted or smelled. They have held up really well for me. They have not started to go rancid at all. And I have really enjoyed using these a lot. They also have a couple of new bright lipsticks. So they have, the newest one is called Alter Ego, which is a red raspberry pink. And then they also have a bright red orange color and a bright crimson red color. So there are a few other brighter colors if you're looking for that. But the neutral seems to be the really strong category in this line, and I am very fond of that kind of neutral. And then moving to number 2, I would say that this would be the lip pencils. So recently, I've tried something like 20 different lip pencils, and recently I tried experimenting with all of them to see if there was a big difference, and I found that the lip pencils that I liked the best were these Victoria Beckham ones and also the Lisa Eldridge ones. But the Lisa Eldridge ones are quite different because they are more like a lip crayon. So they're very creamy and they're very soft, and I really feel like they're only appropriate to use with Lisa Eldridge's velvet lipsticks. So I tend not to ever use those lip pencils with anything else. Whereas these lip pencils from Victoria Beckham are more just like a standard lip pencil. And they certainly go well with her lipsticks, but they also work really well with pretty much every other lipstick that I have. And increasingly, I feel like that my lips look a lot better when I use lip pencil on them. So I think as you get older, that the distinction, the sharp line between your lips and the surrounding skin starts to get a little fuzzier. And so it can be good to have a lip pencil to create some more definition and to create a kind of a base for your lipstick so that it doesn't tend to drift off of the lips into the surrounding skin, or at least that's been the case for me. And I think that of all the lip pencils that I've tried, that I have liked these the most. So far I only have 2 shades in this. One, and I still have all this stuff all over my hands. One is the red one. And then I also have the pink shade, so I bought that to go with my pink lipstick. And I am very tempted to buy more Victoria Beckham lip pencils and then the accompanying lipsticks, because I really feel like they're very understated, and not drawing a lot of attention to themselves, but really easy to wear and really, really pretty, and I'd like to see some more of the shades. And then at number 1 on my list is these eyeshadow sticks. So they did not disappoint me at all. I feel really excited about them. I have, so far in the first 2 times that I've used them, I feel really positive about them. I think that the look that I've been able to achieve has been even better than I have with all of the other eyeshadow sticks that I've used, and it's still just as fast. And I think the price is actually good, so I'm really that makes me really motivated to buy more of them. And I think that look with that yellow pencil that I saw, the yellow stick that I saw in combination with these 2, that's even more exciting to me. So I'm looking forward to ordering that one. So I don't know what other products I'm going to buy from Victoria Beckham next time I place an order, but I'm definitely interested in getting that yellow stick and probably the brown stick and maybe one more lipstick and lip pencil. I don't know if I really need that, but I do enjoy all these products, so that's what I would suggest. Put your little head like this. Thanks very much for watching all the way to the end of the video. And if you've enjoyed this video, then I hope that you will also subscribe to my YouTube channel and that you will hit the bell so that you will get notifications in case YouTube decides not to tell you about a particular video. Coco and I love you very much, and bye-bye. Bye-bye. Coco, look at the camera. Bye.